Cup Studio in Seoul. This is the GSL.
Yeah, look at my face and then tell me that I'm not the illest. I really be killing it. Shoot like a 357, I step on the scene and they really be feeling it. Think I was born for this, the heavy commodity, handle it properly. This will be only for royalty. I tell the
We're back at the GSL Code S. Classic versus Maru is coming up next. The losers match will be Deer versus GuMiho. I am very curious to see how this game is going to look.
Yeah.
Classic bringing a much stronger Protoss overall than Deer. I think Classics looks modern. It seems to be much more adaptive. I'm having a harder time evaluating where exactly Maru is at, since I think Deer did sort of have an odd showing back there, and ultimately just looked
especially
outclassed
game
compared
one.
to Maru. Yeah, game one was just especially weird.
He's like, oh, you made 2 Cyclones after 2 Hellions in an expansion? Well, I definitely can't stop that.
Yeah.
I'm definitely dead from that. It's like, oh, well, I guess that's where we're at right now, unfortunately. Well, yeah, I don't know. That was kind of a weird series, but Maru looked pretty good, though, other than that, right?
Yeah, I mean, he definitely looked like a strong player. This should size up to be a pretty insane game here. Map number 1 is going to be on Catalyst.
Takes tasteless.
Definitely, I'm beating you to it before you go. And our map is Catalyst. Anyways, actually, our game is already loaded up. We're ready to do this.
GSL Season 1, Code S, Daybreak. Classic.
I do feel like this is going to be more of a feeler game on both sides. And then I think we might see Classic trying to do a lot more countering and playing around.
I think
the initial opening. That seems to be the way a lot of his games tend to go.
Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
I think you're probably right about that. I mean, it's good to mix in some more directed aggression early on occasionally,
and,
but
you know,
both these guys can play a very reactive, nice game.
Sure. Well, you know, Maru's play is interesting because it doesn't look fancy at all, generally early on. I don't mean that as a diss whatsoever. It's just...
I don't know why you're hating on Maru, but please continue.
He just plays a very clean opening and tries to get something set up where he feels he can comfortably start to push out and do some damage. And we'll have to see if there's any way that Classic can try to trip up Maru while he's trying to do that.
Huh. Well, just some scouting going on to wait a little bit. Oh, okay, so Core, it looks like Classic wants to do that rush again. Hey guys, welcome to the studio. I'm sure you're enjoying the games. If you're not, why are you here?
Yeah, exactly. What's not to like?
But yeah, this is the same thing that we saw Classic do against GuMiho on this map, which is the Core before the Nexus. So he's going to be rallying in some aggression right off the bat, right? You send up your Zoa, try to stall at that command center, you try to get a cancel on it. Maru, though, got to see him do this against GuMiho. Scouts what's going on. Scouts how quick that Core is. So this looks to me like something that Maru should not be canceling his command center over, I would think. He's going to... Yep, the bunker gets started right in the front, which is exactly what he needs to do.
And that scouting probe is about to come back home.
Whoa. Look at their matches. 15 to 14, 6 to 7.
Oh, wow.
That's funny.
They are actually that evenly matched. I had no idea.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. These are, like I was talking about before, like these are the two that are, you know, they're kind of like super storied. These guys are so successful. Always should be at the top of tournaments.
It's funny, too, because when you look at the two players, it's a tough one to call. Then you see the records and you see why. I seem to remember these guys taking games off each other constantly, and that's the case. Nexus close to finishing up here.
Very quick Twilight follow-up. He realizes he can't get any damage done. I think as soon as the SCV Scout came in, he probably knew that already. Yeah,
he goes down a different build order tree from here. And this is actually, I'd say, a pretty safe game for both these guys early on. I don't think we're going to have too much action for a little bit. We might have to wait for Medivacs to come into play before Terran can really try to push out and do anything.
Well, he is getting a starport, so I guess that's where he's headed as well here. Mine on the way. Can be used defensively, and maybe a mine drop coming up.
Do you feel like the mine drop is actually viable in this current state of StarCraft 2.
I don't,
especially with the opening Classic is doing, because I feel like it's not that safe.
Even when you could detect the mines, or when you could not detect the mines after they shot, it was good still, because it kind of kept people honest, and sometimes you get stuff, but like everyone forever has had the mine drops so mapped out when they come in. It's just like, you just look at the clock, be like, oh, is it almost 4:30? Okay, I'll look for mine drops.
Exactly.
And then at 4:30, the medevac flies in, and you lose like 2 probes and kill 3 mines or something, you know?
Yeah, it seemed like it was something that was smart, but became so popular that it was...
It's just, everyone has so much practice against it.
Protoss has just had too much practice.
Yeah.
And a lot of times you'd end up losing money on the drops. And if you're losing money on drops, it's bad.
Yeah, you don't want to be doing that. So, yeah, I would say it's... I mean, mine drops still have their place, but I don't think it's anywhere near what it once was, which was basically the standard in the matchup.
So we've got a robotics facility coming up here, as we're having a very honest game here from Classic. Maru appears to be setting up with the Liberator coming out, and I believe that's a medevac. Is that a medevac going southbound?
No, that's going to be a Liberator.
Okay, so it's actually... Oh, no, here it is. It's a Reaper that's going southbound here.
I thought you meant on the right side of the map.
No, Liberator going around to the right. I was wondering if he might try to do the Widow Mine drop along with the Liberator coming in, but I guess not. It's just going to be a Liberator trying to see if there's any extra damage that can be dealt here. And, I think the Liberator, there's a degree of predictability with this, too.
Yeah, a little bit. And he has Blink Stalkers, so, obviously that's the tool that you want against that, but he's moving out right now. So this Liberator actually could do some decent work for sure.
Yeah, I think he's actually bringing all of his Stalkers.
Yeah.
So this would be the ideal time. And here comes that Liberator now.
Look at that.
5 more gateways coming up here.
Warps in right underneath him.
So he just goes ahead and chases us back. We see the 2 forges now upgrading. In just a little bit, Classic's going to have a big explosion of units. And we'll see if there's any way that Classic can try to manipulate the fight to keep Maru on 2 bases.
Well, he
doesn't have to do that, but we might want to watch for that coming up here.
I think that Classic needs to get into charge right now. Because Maru's actually getting a pretty scary army when you look at it, right? He's making 3 Marauders at a time.
Yeah.
Really, his signature unit going to do very well against this.
Well, also you have to keep in mind, even if Classic has a good control game set up here, it doesn't seem like Maru's actually interested in taking over the map.
Yeah.
So you're kind of countering something that Terran's not even really trying to do. And I think you're right, Artosis. If Terran powers up and has a fierce army coming out, this could be problematic for Classic. I think he's going to need a lot of those Zealots to try to engage an army that could be this big coming from Maru.
Well, I'm very excited that Maru's using this style. This is a very old style. You almost never see 5 racks on just 2 command centers. This is like Heart of the Swarm era play, which, by the way, don't forget, like, Maru and Innovation were unquestionably the best Terrans in the world during this era as well. So, like, this is a build that Maru is extremely good at. It's super Marauder heavy. It's quicker and more aggressive than any 3 command center build that you'll see. So this is actually really cool what we're seeing here from Maru.
And this might negate, the Stalkers and their ability to blink around and have all this agility on their side. I think what's going to happen is Maru's army is going to be this battering ram that will push through the map. Keep in mind, with Maru's control, too, even with a lot of Zealots, you can end up trading pretty favorably against the Protoss.
Well, he forgot charge, and there's SCVs coming.
Look at this.
If Maru does not kill him here, there's something wrong.
Yep, this is a very specific timing window here. And Maru, with patience on his side, is going to try to tear down the rocks. And there's a Zealot flank that's being set up here. But yeah, you need Zealot legs.
Yeah, the Zealot legs are so important. Charge needs to finish. He's buying as much time as he can. I mean, this is some good moves that he's doing, right? The force fields, that slows it down quite a bit.
Okay, he is getting the mines coming up now. And he has wedged his way in between the 2nd and the 3rd base for Classic. Classic in some hot water. He needs to stop this attack immediately, and it looks like he's trying to buy some more time, maybe try to get that other Immortal out, but I think the damage being done here is actually too much, too quickly here from Maru.
Oh man, still the charge is not done. This is the longest charge in the history of the world.
Yeah,
look at those force. Look how many sentries he had to warp in.
Yeah.
Those could have been good units.
Yeah, instead of buy time units.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many more force fields are really going to be left here. The tanks are in a very good spot. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, the
Zealots coming in here from behind.
Oh my god, here he comes, just pincering everything. It's definitely a very strong flank. A ton of Zealots still left over here.
Notice how he's keeping in the back where the Immortals can't quite hit him. He's going to regroup. Of course, when Terran does an attack like that, they've sent out so many SCVs that economically they are limping through the game from here on out. It's 26 SCVs to the 50 workers of Classic. We already see Classic with about a 35 supply lead overall. Now going into DTs, which he can absolutely use to try to control the map and control the pace of this game here.
DTs feel like a game winner. Like, he's doing two things that are game winners here. It's 2-2, and it's DT tech.
Yeah.
And, like, when you brought out that many SCVs, mules are even more important than before. And you're going to be playing aggressively. So just, like, if you have to scan at home and your army, that's too much. You can't do that with 2 command centers. So that's fantastic. And then, of course, if he just sits here and gets to 2-2, there's no comeback potential anymore. He's up 2 upgrades.
Yeah.
With charge lots.
And the Terran is punished for not trying to go into a more traditional late game. Okay, here we go. The Zealots just shredding through those infantry. Maru with very little that's actually remaining here. Classic simply has to wait and pick fights that seem to be ones he can trade effectively in. And the sand is running out of the hourglass here for Maru, for sure. Yeah,
this is not going as well as he would hope. Like, a Classic rather, is barely losing anything. With all these force fields, with 2 Immortals on the high ground, that many charge lots, his 2-2's about to finish, his DTs are coming in.
One by one, he can feed these DTs into Maru's base. Maru will be forced to scan, and the result will be he'll have a smaller army later on. Even one DT actually with this army.
Yeah.
Looks like it's on a move command, not actually attacking yet.
Yeah, that's kind of funny.
And I just don't see a bright future here for Maru. I think we're going to have to go to game 3. There it is. GG. Classic takes game number 1.
Okay. Very interesting game to see the 5 racks play come out of Maru. Maybe he did not push quickly enough.
Well, I suppose if you don't see a third base for Terran, Protoss knows there's only so many things Terran can do. There were not a lot of drops coming up, nothing really committed. I think Classic probably had a read on the SCV pull and just thought, okay, I just stay back. And even with late Zealot legs, didn't he cancel once and then go back and make it again?
I don't know if he canceled, but it was super late. Like, he should have started it much, much, much earlier. It's such an important upgrade. If he had it earlier, I think he might have crushed that overall.
Maybe,
but
his
patience was really outstanding as well.
He even sacked the Nexus.
Yeah.
He just sees the SCVs are there. He says, I'm going to have more probes at home anyways.
He brought the probes with his Zealots to flank, which was great. He had a flanking army to the side, which actually made it even more likely that if Maru had pulled the trigger on the main army, just attacked the main army, I think he actually would have just straight killed it. I'm not 100% on that because there's like Guardian Shields, Force Fields, Blink Stalker, Micro.
There's a lot of variables there.
Yeah. I don't know. That was an interesting game at least.
Okay, we're now going into game number 2. Right now, Classic up with a 1-0 lead versus Maru. The winner of this series survives to the round of 8 in the GSL Code S.
GSL Season 1, Code S, Daybreak. Classic. Jin Air Green Wings, Maru.
Just the cool-headedness of Classic that game, absolutely winning it for him.
It was not the kind of game I thought we were going to see between these two guys.
No,
before we started the match. I'm almost curious as to why Maru elected to use a build like that against Classic. I'm wondering if there's more to the story here than we can truly see. Like, maybe when these guys play online, the record is actually very much one-sided, and Maru tried to do a build to throw off his opponent. I mean, is that... Oh my god, look at this. This hidden pylon here is...
That's funny, because we have 2 screens, and you said, oh my god,
yeah,
look
sorry,
at this.
I wasn't talking about you guys in the audience. We love you, sorry. I wasn't talking about you guys.
What about him? They have beautiful smiles.
Yes.
Is that it, Tasteless?
I was looking at the in-game screen here. We have a hidden pylon here.
Yeah. I think it's a proxy Void Ray.
Yep.
If I had to guess. But I was like, why are you saying that right now? Those
Why
are beautiful people.
What is wrong with you, Tasteless?
Anyways, the probe doing some pretty heavy harassment. I wouldn't be surprised if he pokes in again at some point here. Let's see if a Stargate comes up.
Get ready. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Right where this command center should be.
It's a cool proxy location.
That is very satisfying to see it exactly right there.
Yeah.
You know?
It's like it's a Nexus.
Yeah, it's crazy. Imagine Maru goes down there and he's like, oh, he's making a Nexus
Do
here.
you think it'll be Oracle or Void Ray?
I think Void Ray. Maybe Oracle, then Void Ray. I'll just name everything.
You're like,
Void
I think
Ray,
he's
then
going
Oracle?
proxy Phoenixes.
He's going to make a Phoenix and then a Void Ray?
He's going to make a Tempest there with the Roddy build.
Okay, so
that's a Void Ray.
Yep.
Yeah, I like the Void Ray build anyways. I feel like this is one that you should, like in a group like this is the 5th PVT that Classic is playing.
Yeah.
20% mix-in rate of this build. This is like one of the hardest things to stop I have ever seen is this build.
Well, Classic is interested in getting out of this group, smashing Maru with a proxy, and then peace with the round of 8.
He has this mapped out really well.
Yeah, look at the placement. It's exactly
he just barely
where Terran
doesn't
can't
see anything.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, your leftmost building should be your geyser, so just has that map. Dude, this is going to be so scary. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
The heart palpitation, no doubt, felt by Maru here.
Yeah.
Now he's going to try to maybe shimmy the Widow Mine over to this position.
He didn't actually do this quite right, I think. Look at this. He's trying to get the mine to. He's trying to get the probe in to get hit by the mine. That's so cute.
Oh,
but
yeah,
the probe
you're right.
can't quite do it. Just can't get close enough.
The Adept is going to shade in.
I love it.
Taking one for the team. Okay, now he can actually chase the mine out.
Yeah, if he can actually kill the mine. Oh my God! Look at the range on that shield battery.
Yeah, it's pretty sick, huh?
This is brutal.
That's it, GG!
Yeah.
Classic is our first survivor tonight.
Well, you can't blame him for mixing that build, and that build is like, it is. If Terran doesn't see it coming, man, they're dead. There's no standard opener that beats that, as far as I know.
Nicely done there by Classic, circumventing a standard StarCraft 2 game and instead blindsiding Maru, which means Maru will now be knocked down to our final best of 3.
Yeah.
We'll be getting to that after we have our losers match, which is after this interview and then the commercial break. We're going to now see what Classic's thoughts are now that he's managed to survive to the round of 8 in this season of the GSL Code S.
Well, he looked very good doing it tonight, I have to say. Taking down GuMiho and Maru, his PVT looking on point, and we already know his PvP and PvC are
오늘 시즌의
top-notch.
첫 번째 8강 진출자 김도우 선수입니다. 축하드립니다.
네, 감사합니다.
We have our first winner tonight. It's
네,
Classic.
오늘 깔끔한
Congratulations. He says
테란전
thank you.
보여주셨는데요. 먼저 8강 진출 소감부터 들어볼까요?
네, 우선 테란전이 전보다
Let's
좀
feel how you feel.
어려워져가지고
Tell us how you feel after that victory.
연습 때 좀 힘든 것도 많아가지고 좀
I think
걱정을
it's a
많이
little
하고
bit tougher for
왔는데
Protoss to face Terrans than it was before in the meta.
해가지고 너무 좋아요.
I've been having a hard time against
오늘
them.
경기력도 좋고
So I'm really relieved I managed to take out the Terrans that I had to face today.
방금 전 전진우관 자리 기가 막혔거든요. 필살기로 준비하셨나요?
That proxy Stargate, that was really impressive. Did you spend a lot of time prepping that build?
최근에는 테란전만
Yeah, since we had 2 Terrans in this group, I practiced a lot of different strategies. And so I had a variety of builds. And I wanted to try to mix them up so that I could throw off any Terran I was up against.
없으니까 이렇게 술술 잘 풀리는 것 같아요. 그동안 마음고생 심하셨죠?
Seems like there's no more SKT players in your group. Or there weren't any SKT players in your group. Yes, in the past, I had matches against former SKT players. And since I don't have any of my former teammates, I think I was overall more comfortable in these matches.
오늘 그 앞선 첫 번째 경기도 이야기를 해볼게요. 고병재 선수와 경기를
So
했는데
let's talk about that match
고병재
against
선수가
GuMiho.
이 토스전에서 참 안 나왔던 그 메카닉 테란을 보여주셨거든요. 그건 토스로서 상대하시기에 어떠신가요?
GuMiho
우선 초반에
showed
좀 불리해서 그런지
this mech style, which
이게
is
각이
not
안
normal.
보이더라고요.
What was your take on that?
밤까마귀가 좀 좋아져가지고
네.
멜칸이
since he was ahead of me,
나올 수 있는 전략인 것 같아가지고
네.
I was just trying to find some kind of out to try to
집에
defeat him.
가서 연습을 해서 답을 찾아봐야 될 것 같아요.
네. 그
I
반감하게
don't quite know how to take on these micro Terrans. I think when I go back home,
아무래도
I'm going to have to keep
원래는
looking
거의
for
쓰이지
more
않은 유닛이었는데
builds against mech,
최근에 좀
you know,
버프를 많이
aggressive
받아가지고
Terrans.
네, 충분히 좋은 유닛인 것 같아요.
The Raven's not a unit we've seen as
앞으로
much
이 GSL
recently.
경기에서도 많이 나올
I
것
think it's
같네요.
actually a pretty good
자,
unit for Terran.
어쨌든 오늘 이렇게
I still need to find some
8강에서
answers on how to
아주
address that unit as well.
깔끔하게 16강에서 깔끔하게 8강에 올라가게 됐습니다. 다음 상대는 올토스죠. 이 D조에서
So, your
올라온
next
선수와
opponent
만나게 돼요.
Is going to be one of the Protosses
어떠세요?
from Group D. How do you feel about PvP right now?
그냥 옛날부터 자신이 좀 있어가지고 토프전은 괜찮을 것 같고 4강전이 아마 대진을 모르겠는데
네.
So,
오인수
honestly,
만나나요,
from previous matches, I'm pretty confident in PvP. I'm honestly not even really thinking about the round of 8 right now, but instead the semifinals.
네.
벌써부터 좀 4강전을 걱정하게 되는 것 같아요.
네, 결승에서
I'd say,
만나시는
as long as I'm not against Sue in the semifinals, I could probably take on anybody.
자, 올해 김도호 선수
What about facing Sue in the
왠지 잘
finals?
풀릴 것
She asked.
같은 기분이
And he said,
듭니다.
I'll be thankful
마지막으로
if I can get Sue in
김도호
the
선수
finals.
그밖에 더 하고 싶은 말씀이 있으시면 더 해주셔도
So,
좋습니다.
before we close it out,
네, 우선
anything you want
오늘
to say to the
준비
people
많이
that support you?
해왔는데 이렇게 깔끔하게 올라가서
Yeah, I prepared a lot
만족스럽고,
for the round of 16.
오랜만에 GSL
And
결승 무대를 가보고
I'm
싶어서
really happy that I was able to show some clean performance today.
열심히 해가지고
But I'm not done yet. I want to make it to the finals of the GSL.
감사합니다.
네, 알겠습니다.
I'm going to
축하드리고요.
prep hard in these
해외
quarterfinals,
대회도 잘
semifinals,
다녀오시길
and I look
바라겠습니다.
forward to you guys seeing me
네,
in the finals.
네, 이렇게
Alright.
오늘의 첫 번째
Congratulations,
진출자 김도호
Classic.
선수를
And I do want to say,
계속해서 GSL 이벤트
I really thought he'd get out of
안내해드리겠습니다.
this group tonight, but not just that. I actually think he's going to the
네, 먼저
finals.
현장에 오신
It looks
분들은
like it.
Like,
he looks
that-
really, really solid.
The player he's going to play is going to be a Protoss in the round of 8, 100%, and then very much most likely another Protoss, unless Maru or GuMiho gets out of this group tonight and then beats a great Protoss in the round of 8. And I look at that path, and I think about Classics PvP and the fact he gets to watch all these guys PvP a bunch tomorrow. And the guy he's going to play against, he's going to see 3 sets of PvP. Classics going to the finals.
I think you might be right. We're out of time. When we come back, we're going to go to our next best of 3 in tonight's GSL Code S.